Hey everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading, and today's reading is for the Cancers, okay? So welcome to your reading, Cancers, and this is for Sun, Moon, or Rising in Cancer. And of course, if you aren't any of those things, and maybe you have Venus in Cancer, Mars in Cancer, you're more than willing and able to watch this reading. And also, if you're cross-watching for someone else, that is also perfectly fine too. So let's go ahead and get into it today for my wonderful Cancers. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at what is coming up for the next 4 to 6 weeks for you, what you can expect, what the energy is around you right now. Okay, and also we'll have an 18+ extended reading to go deeper into your love situation for the upcoming month. And you can go ahead and click on my Vimeo link below in order to access that reading. Okay, so let's go ahead, please, for Cancer. Spirits, angels, and guides, can you show me what Cancers are needing, wanting, feeling, pursuing coming up here? What is the best use of energy for my Cancers coming up? Let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and see. Okay. So what I'm going to do is lay everything out in an astrological wheel here, and I'll explain what I'm doing a little bit. There's the first house, second house, third, fourth, fifth house, 6th, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. We're looking for that sense of safety, security, grounding, and freedom through self-expression. I also feel for you guys, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull a significator for you guys too. Oh, we have Judgment. So new beginnings all around for you guys. Let's go ahead, and for some of you, you could feel that something you put an investment of time, effort, and energy into in the past isn't going exactly like you've wanted it to go, and you need to make some changes now, okay? So I also feel like the way that you see yourself and the efforts that you put in is also changing and growing. Let's go ahead and take a look at your first house. We have the 4 of Cups, which is the moon in Cancer. So that's it's like I should like this or I should be into this, but I'm not, and something has to change, okay? So we have the 2 of Swords here in your second house of money. We have the 8 of Pentacles in your third house. We have the 2 of Cups in your fourth house. Okay, I like that for you guys. This is Venus in Cancer and the Lord of Love, okay? And we have the Knight of Cups in your fifth house. I like that. That's steamy, okay? We have the 9 of Pentacles in your sixth house. We have the Wheel of Fortune in your seventh house. Okay, Cancers, what I'm already seeing from you guys coming up is a little bit of inner resistance to the things that could actually bring you pleasure and happiness in the future, okay? And some of you are having to change on a fundamental and core level, with Judgment at the center here being your significator. Judgment is not the easiest path. It is the Lord of primal fire, and it's also associated with the planet Pluto. Okay, so with the 4 of Cups in your first house, there can be an inner resistance to making decisions and moving forward on a path that you know you need to take, and you know is going to lead to better things, and you know it's going to work out better, but there may just be some inner resistance there, okay? And the 4 of Cups is also like needing a timeout and needing some chill time, and it also can be a very moody card as well too. So the world is busy and happening around you, I feel like, but within you're going through some big changes. So let's see what else we have here. We have the 9 of Swords in your 8th house. We have the 9 of Cups in your 9th house. Okay, I like that for you guys. We have the 4 of Swords in your 10th house, and we have the Magician in your 11th house, and we have, I mean, nothing's going to happen unless you make it happen. I think you know that. But at the same time, there just may be some part of you that is wanting to have fun and worry about the details later, you know, and I get that. Sometimes people just need a break. And what I see here with the 4 of Cups is you kind of needing a break while the world around you is spinning and the things are happening, okay? We have the Ace of Cups in your 12th house. So that's interesting. All right. So, you know, it's funny in the 4 of Cups is that 4th cup is represented actually by the Ace of Cups, okay? So I see something that has the ability to surface into your life, particularly when it has to do with relationships, okay? But, you know, you may not be, like I said, I am feeling you have some inner resistance to what needs to be changed is what I feel, okay? And interestingly, with the 2 of Swords in your money house, I feel like you're trying to block out some of your concerns, honestly, because the 4 of Cups and the 2 of Swords represent this energy of blocking something out emotionally, or blocking something out, you know, as far as your feelings and your emotions and your plans, okay? And I always call the 2 of Swords the hear no evil, see no evil type of a card, okay? And, you know, interestingly, with the 9 of Swords in your 8th house, the 8th house is a house of debt, okay? So there could be some debts that are coming due, or bills that need to be paid, or some things that you need to take care of. You might be worried that you're spending too much money, okay? But I also feel like with the 2 of Swords in your 2nd house, you're not really connecting. It's like, I would rather not, I feel like the perspective you guys are coming from is I would rather not check my bank balance, because when I check it, it just makes me feel very nervous, okay? And what I see here maybe is a resistance to looking at things in your life, okay? But with the Judgment card at the center, it's like we're being forced to open our eyes and see what is going on around us before the world kind of passes us by, okay? So with the 2 of Swords in your money house, we could have an energy of avoidance, but at the same time, I think you know underneath that if you kind of don't get a handle on things and face things, because Pluto with the Judgment card is also a card of resources and material wealth, and what we find buried in the ground as far as like a material resource, okay? And some of you may be feeling very disconnected from that. And like I said, kind of a hear no evil, see no evil. Also with the 2 of Swords in your money house, there may not be a whole lot of intentionality around what you're doing with your money. And you're just kind of like, well, if I just pretend that everything's okay, or if I just stop worrying about things, then all things will fall into place, okay? But I would be really careful about, you know, spending money. I could see you guys spending more money on entertainment or splurging, okay, with the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Swords here, like splurging or going out or having fun or traveling, right? And some of you may need to replenish your funds. If you do have something planned, like travel, because the 9th house is the house of travel, adventure, okay? And we can see that you want to have fun, or that you want to, and maybe you have been planning some things and you know that certain expenditures are coming and certain things will be, but I don't see, either you're not ultra focused on your finances upcoming, or you're avoiding something or ignoring something, or they're not really moving, shifting, or changing that much. Okay, so if you're looking to have like, and I feel like some of you with the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck in the past, there was opportunities for you to grow or to make some money. Yeah, look at this. The King of Wands facing the Ace of Pentacles. So hopefully you guys were hustling for that hot dollar during the summertime, or you were already doing that because fall season is upon us, and some of you could have, some plans for the fall season that have to do with travel, going places, spending some extra coin, okay? And so hopefully you are able to, and I'm just bringing this up and dialing into it heavily because I feel like there could be an energy of avoidance around that. And also with the Nine of Swords in your 8th house. The 8th house is a house of anxiety and worry and stress. And the Nine of Swords can be where we really start to stress and worry about situations that we've been ignoring for a while and we haven't really been paying attention to, or that we just kind of like let slide. Do you know what I'm saying? So I would just be careful that you're watching your bank account, or you're watching your money, or you're watching, you're just watching things carefully. And also try not to, if you were hustling for that hot dollar, okay, in the past with the King of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, then, it's like, then no need to worry, okay? Because sometimes the Nine of Swords can be like endless worry and endless, just feeling tension about things, okay? And for some of you, your partner, for those of you that have partners with the Wheel of Fortune, you could be having a partner that is, because the Wheel of Fortune in tarot has to do with riches and poverty. So that's the traditional association with the Wheel of Fortune, is riches and poverty. The 7th house is the house of your partner. So your partner could also, for those of you that have a partner, your partner could be going through some financial anxieties and some financial changes in their life, possibly changing jobs, changing careers. I think at the end of the day, because this represents your partner's 10th house here, I think at the end of the day, it's the move that they made or the thing that they did is going to work out for them, but they may be kind of stressed, okay? Which means that you can't really change anything when it comes to your financial situation. So there is a little bit of a stagnation or just a pause, I feel like, for you to kind of maintain the balance here with the Two of Swords if your partner is going through major fluctuations in their money. And for those of you that don't have a partner, I feel like the 7th house is the other, okay? The 1st house is us saying, with the 4 of Cups here, I don't really feel like changing. I'm comfortable. I like where things are at. And the 7th house is saying the world around you is shifting and changing at a rapid pace, okay? And, being worried with the 9 of Swords in the 8th house here, worried about if you're going to be okay in that, or if you're going to get left behind. Do you know what I'm saying, Cancer? So I think that is something you guys may be focused on. Also, for those of you that are dating, you may be having some resistance to changing your approach or changing your style. We can see with the Ace of Cups in the 12th house, like something is trying to emerge for you, because the 12th house represents what's hidden. And the 12th house also represents the house of psychological pain in astrology, okay? So love and the experience of love for you guys could have in the past brought you a great deal of pain. I mean, I think you want to experience, and love isn't just romantic love, right? It could be friendship, family, etc. Saying that, when you've put yourself out there at times, it hasn't been the easiest for you, okay? And I am feeling like a sense of dread about something to do with your relationships or with love, okay? Because when the 4 of Cups shows up in your 1st house, it says, there's not a lot of growth there, but at the same time, it also represents being comfortable with where you're at. However, when you're facing off against the Wheel of Fortune in your 7th house, that's when things can get a bit, things can get a little bit uncomfortable for someone that really enjoys being like a homebody and being in their place and having everything in its place. And I also feel like with the Ace of Cups in the 12th house, something about forgiveness is coming up for you guys too. And forgiveness is an interesting topic, and some of you could have had forgiveness hammered on you from a religious perspective growing up. I know, a lot of the, Christian religions and etc., they have this big, emphasis on forgiveness, but sometimes we're not ready to kind of let that through, okay? And some people can get very ashamed that they're like, and this could be you, Cancer, where you're like, I'm a very loving person and I do my best to forgive people and to love people. But there may be something that you, within the 12th house, with the Ace of Cups in the 12th house, that isn't really wanting to, that really maybe feels like, a little bit ashamed that you haven't forgiven something. There's we can always, what's the whole saying? You can forgive, but you don't forget, that type of thing, okay? And I also feel like there's this nagging, but also good feeling that love could be just around the corner for you, but maybe you're not in the right place, okay? So also with the Wheel of Fortune in your 7th house, some of you could be having an unexpected destined encounter with someone very interesting and very cool that sparks off a lot of, changes or adjustments in your life, okay? And some of you may be feeling like, I don't really want to leave where I'm at. I don't really with the 4 of Cups in your 1st house, I'm resistant to physically leaving where I'm at. But I know in order to make things happen for myself, I'm going to have to leave where I'm at. If I want to meet a partner, or if I want to meet someone different, if I want to experience some excitement in my life, right? The Magician in the 11th house, then I'm going to have to step out of my safety zone, out of my comfort zone. And for some of you, the idea of okay, how much effort and money and, anxiety, etc., is that going to entail? And I get it, I get it. I would also say, if you've experienced a lot of pain around the topic of forgiveness and you just don't really want to deal with it and you've tried your best, I feel like feel like at times you were guilted to kind of forgive people in your life, and when you really weren't ready emotionally to kind of make that step. I also think, it's okay. It is completely fine, and do things in your own time and do things, do things as you will, okay? And the 12th house can also represent isolation. So this feeling of isolation, right? And, really wanting that experience of love, but also maybe being, like I said, a little resistant on changing what you're doing. So if you're kind of going for the same people or going for the same types, or you're a little afraid of falling in love, or you're a little afraid of putting yourself out there because of bad memories, right? With the 4 of Cups in your 1st house, I totally get that. But with the Magician in your 11th house, I think it's more important that you just stay focused on, excitement, joy, creating good experiences for yourself when it comes to your hopes and your dreams, okay? Because the 11th house represents the fulfillment of our desires, okay? And with the Magician there, and I'm also really just, the Magician represents card number 1 in the tarot, and I'm just seeing this as you being like an independent entity that is operating in your environment to create the things that you really want and desire, okay? And the 4 of Swords in your 10th house tells me the career might be that, because the 10th house represents your career. So I don't really, again, with your money and your career being the 2 of Swords and 4 of Swords, I mean, that's way better energy than, for instance, the 5 of Swords or the 3 of Swords or something like that. So what I'm seeing with your money and your career is that technically they're not horrible. They're not bad or anything. And maybe we should just leave them for where they're at right now and let them be what they will be, because there's some other like more exciting energies. And sometimes that happens. We go through a phase where everything is just kind of business as usual when it comes to our career. But I also think with the 4 of Swords in your 10th house, you guys are really thinking, at this point, I'm not going to make any sudden moves. However, I know that things aren't perfect and they don't last forever. However, I'm going to just enjoy where I'm at right now. And maybe with the Magician in your 11th house, focus on fulfilling some other desires that are more immediate to you. So what does the fulfillment of your desires represent to you? And what is important to you? Because I think the Magician already asked that question. And where do you, because there's a feeling with the 4 of Cups in the 1st house of being kind of dissatisfied, like being technically okay. The 4 of Cups is the Lord of blended pleasure. So it's like some good and some bad. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's technically okay, but I feel like something much better could emerge, right? With the Ace of Cups in your 12th house. But the Magician really asks the question, what is it that I really want to go after? Okay, because the Magician is the one who is directing things, focusing on things, concentrating on things, and actually directing their power towards what it is that they want. I also feel like some chance encounters with a friend or an associate or somebody in your environment ends up being a lot better than you expected, I feel like, okay? And the 12th house can sometimes is the house of our hidden enemies and self-sabotage and things like that. But with the Ace of Cups there, I don't think you're doing so many things that are self-sabotaging. I'm not feeling the presence of enemies there. I think maybe it's just some old emotional stuff that got drilled into you when you were a kid. Maybe it was religious stuff. Maybe it was, certain things that at times, certain belief systems or certain attitudes about things that maybe kept you a little bit stuck or a little bit unhappy at times, okay? However, I think with the Magician in your 11th house really amping up your 11th house. And the 11th house, like I said, is the house of friends and the fulfillment of your desires, okay? And it is a very nice, favorable house in astrology. It also represents the money that you make from your career, okay? So it's like, there's not a whole lot of heck of stuff happening in your 10th house with the 4 of Swords here. But I also think you guys are ambitious and wanting to dream big. And, you're kind of doing this. You see what I'm doing with my hands? Kind of like the Magician, like warming things up. Like this is technically okay for now, but let me, and I feel like you're looking for inspiration when it comes to your career, right? You're looking for something to look forward to. You're looking to get that pizzazz back. You're looking to get that inspiration flowing again. And you may kind of need to look outside of yourself to that, to people in your community, to friends, etc. People that are gonna like spark, as the old Marie Kondo. Did you guys ever watch Marie Kondo where she talked about sparking joy? Anyway, she always annoyed me. I don't know why. Like I was always like, get out of here with your sparking joy, Marie Kondo. But she was the one who said, get rid of things if they don't spark joy. And, with the 4 of Cups, that could really be like something that you guys might be resistant to, because it's like, I want to kind of hold on to things and leave things as they were, or hold on to the memories or whatever. I don't really want to do all these changes. But judgment comes along and says, look, if something doesn't spark joy, eliminate it. Okay, so I really think you guys are looking for inspiration in your 11th house for things that turn you on and spark joy. okay? And that could be where you're actually having a lot of fun. Also, I think in your ninth house, we have the Nine of Cups. So, meeting new people, going to different places, trying new things, trying some new food, these types of things, I think would probably be sparking joy for you, okay? And, I'm also getting like teaching for something like in your work environment where you can kind of like take on a new project, or you can show others how to do things, okay? There is something magical coming up for you about the fulfillment of your hopes and wishes, okay? And I also feel like some of you, if for those of you that have nice friends or you're wanting to have nice friends, I feel like you're having encouraging friends that are telling you, like, go for it, like, we support you, we believe in you, and enjoy, like really encouraging you to try new things, or encouraging you to do what you want to do, or just gassing you up and saying, come on, like, let's, get it going or whatever. So I think that's a nice area for you guys to focus on. And I also see here with the Nine of Cups in your ninth house, this feeling of, like I said, wanting to travel, the ninth house is also a very fun house. You know what I mean? It's also a house of spirituality. It's a house of religion. It's a house, for those of you that are involved with things like that. But it's also, I feel like with the Nine of Cups in your ninth house, it's like, okay, I'm going to relax and have some fun, and it's like, who's coming with me, right? It's like, in Jerry Maguire, when he's like leaving on a Friday and he's like, I'm out of here. And he's like, who's coming with me? This type of thing. So some of you may be looking for like a travel buddy or a travel partner, or you might be making plans for the future for some really fun trip, or some, and I also feel like doing some cultural activities for those of you that can't really get out and travel, because I know not everyone has the money or time or effort to go travel, but maybe it's going to a museum, it's something that can expand your mind. Maybe it's entering a contest and winning, because the Nine of Cups is a very lucky card, and it does represent Jupiter and Pisces. That Jupiter energy of like, wow, I can't believe I won that, or I entered my name in that thing randomly and now I won a free cruise. Like, whoa, who's coming with me? That type of energy. So, I like that for you guys. I like that. And, maybe some of you are taking little vacations here and there. So it's time to clock out with the Four of Swords, and it's time to chill. And also, if you've been very stressed in the past at your work, and you've been, in a lot of upheaval or change, I feel like it's time for a quieter period now. It's time to it's time to kind of soak it all in, and maybe even take some days off, request a few days off or something if you can. All right. And I also see the Nine of Pentacles in your sixth house here, which is very strong for your health, okay? And how you feel every day is important, and taking care of yourself nutritionally is also very important, especially if you're having a grand old time with your ninth house, Nine of Cups, and your fifth house, Knight of Cups. And, that could be a bit of partying, or a bit of drinking, or a bit of, jovial fun, excitement, trying new things with the Magician, okay? But I also think with your sixth house, so the sixth house, Nine of Pentacles in the sixth house. Nine of Pentacles is represented by Virgo energy, okay? And Virgo energy can have a lot of sensitivities. Nutritionally, it can have a lot of sensitivities to like good diet and observing new health plans, like maybe being gluten-free or things like this, okay? So I would just, when it comes to your sixth house, some of you may be like making smoothies or eating more fruit, or you may actually be putting some money into your health, okay? Whether that is going for a spa treatment, whether that is, going for a beauty treatment. Some of you may be spending a little bit of coin on that, okay? And for those of you that work in a health industry, or you work in, beauty, health, whether you are a person that like lasers other people, gives other people lashes, you do Botox treatments for people, whatever you work in, you're a massage therapist, you're a naturopath, if you do something that is very sixth house related, I feel like, this is the Nine of Pentacles is the Lord of material gain. So for some of you, if you are, if you do work in that area, I feel it is a very, very strong area for you. And also some of you may be parting with a little bit of your money. Parting is such sweet sorrow, right? You may be parting with your money a little bit to get some beauty procedures, because this is a Venus card. However, I feel like if you do get any beauty procedures, they go really well because you get the best person to do it, and you spend enough money to get an expert that actually knows what they're doing, okay? And I see you guys eating, wanting to create healthy habits for yourself, and maybe even spending a little bit of money, to like buy organic or things like that, okay? So your sixth house, I like Venus in Virgo in your sixth house. I like that. Venus is in her fall in Virgo, but I think it's a good place to have Venus in Virgo in the sixth house. It's very clean, and the Nine of Pentacles likes to be clean and organized, and likes to have like quality things. And the sixth house and the Nine of Pentacles is the Lord of material gain. So, really gaining, whether that's just good energy from eating healthy or detoxing or whatever it is that you're working on there. So I like that for you. And that's going to help fuel you to kind of get, if you're feeling sluggish with the Four of Cups in your first house, if you're feeling kind of sluggish, it could be because this is the moon in Cancer, which represents, our digestion and our tummies and all of that. So maybe we need to, there could always be issues. I'm not a doctor, obviously, but there could be issues with constipation or wanting to get regular. Okay, not to be too much information there for you guys, but I think you're going to have a good handle on that. Okay. And, if your metabolism has been sluggish, I feel like, you're going to start, but I also think you may be a little bit up and down with that too, because you have the Nine of Cups in the ninth house, which tells me that, and the Knight of Cups in the fifth house, which tells me that you're going to want to go out, or you're going to want to have some drinks, or you're going to want to enjoy yourself and maybe eat some rich foods or something like that. But I think you can bounce back. Okay. Now with the Five of Cups, with the Knight of Cups in your fifth house, this to me, because your fifth house is your house of children or pleasure. And so, I think there's a steamy, hot individual, somebody that is, somebody that's wanting to have some fun with you, Cancer. Now, the Knight of Cups in the tarot represents Scorpio. So some of you could be enjoying some pleasurable times with a Scorpio or a water sign in general. And also the Knight of Cups is really able to talk about his or her feelings and put their emotions into words, okay? And for some of you, that may be with your fifth house. Some of you may be into poetry, or you may be into writing and poetry or music, and you're a very emotive person, and you're able to express yourself in a very prominent way, okay? And get those emotions out, all right? So, and with the Nine of Swords in the eighth house, maybe some of you are having some sexual anxieties because you're changing or things are evolving, and you're just feeling a little bit nervous about, putting yourself out there in a sexual manner, okay? Because it's a new world, everything's changed, etc., etc. No matter how old you are, things shift, things change, right? But I feel like with this Knight of Cups in your 5th house, some of you are going to be like feeling very romantic, and also I think feeling like watching romantic movies or watching cheesy movies or reading erotic plays, you know, this type of thing. You know, listening to sexy music, falling in love with a rock star, you know, whatever, you know, all of these things, okay? But I also feel like you're able to, if you are having some sexual anxieties and you are experiencing some issues around that, I feel like with the Knight of Cups, you are able to get your feelings out and you are able to share them and talk about them, okay? And for those of you that have children, you may have a child that owes you an apology with this Ace of Cups in your 12th house, or is going to apologize to you for, you know, not appreciating you about something, or, you know, just wants to show you their appreciation or wants to tell you thank you for being there for them. Okay. So, or wants to, I know we're not anywhere like around Mother's Day or anything, but I feel like, you know, it's almost like that energy of Mother's Day with a child and saying, you know, hey mom, like I really love you, or hey dad, I really appreciate you. And some of you could get a really nice or really cute or really sweet note from your kid. And, you know, sometimes even 5-year-olds, they go to school and they make those handprints and then they write, I love my mom or something in there and bring it home to you and give you a little gift. And you're like, oh my God, you know, that's so cute. So, I mean, I think that there is a lot, there's a lot of cute things in your 5th house as well, too. There may also be a tendency, because the Knight of Cups gets very absorbed, you know, into what he or she is doing. So it's a tendency to get very whimsical and romantic and absorbed in, you know, the pleasures in life, which, hey, you know, you deserve it. You deserve it. Okay, Cancer. If you're getting some really sweet, heartfelt gifts or notes from people, you're like, okay, kid, like you gave me this sweet note or this cute note, but I can't get you to clean your room. I can't get you to, you know what I mean? And it's like, sorry, mommy, with the Knight of Cups coming up to the 9 of Pentacles. I know, you know, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or it's a lover who is very different than you in the way that they like to live, with the Wheel of Fortune here, and them kind of being like, you know, and you liking things a bit more organized and in their place, and them being a bit more free flowing. Okay, so some of you could be experiencing that energy, but I also think it's a good month to just kind of go with it, you know, and enjoy yourself. And we have the 2 of Cups in your 4th house. So the 4th house represents midnight in our chart, and it is the deepest part of our chart. It also represents our family, whether that's like our soul tribe, our best friends that are family, or our actual you know, everything is family, right? I mean, some people don't really have a lot of, you know, birth family around them, but they've got people that love and appreciate them around them, and it makes them feel very, loved, okay? So I actually feel like people are going to be, whether it's, and this has been, your guys' reading is the first reading where I actually see some good energy in the 4th house, because in Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, the 4th house was really looking rough, okay? But for you guys, I see you guys actually having some very sweet moments, you know, of, hey, you know, how was your day? And really tender, really empathetic communication and care. And the 2 of Cups in the tarot is the Lord of Love. And I think it's about time, you know, because I feel like with the Ace of Cups in the 12th house, there's like love that is due to you that needs to come through. And it's expression of love and care and support for all that you do. You know what I'm saying? And it's about time. I feel like with Judgment in the 2 of Cups, that people really wake up and realize all that you do, okay? And I really feel, you know, you guys, for those of you that are taking a break from work as well with the Four of Swords to spend time with your family or to spend time with your lover, or you're actually deciding to have work-life balance and you're deciding, hey, I really need time. Like everyone's growing up so fast with the Knight of Cups. Some of you could have a kiddo that's like growing up really fast, this type of thing. I really want time to spend with the people that I care about, and I don't want to constantly just be working all the time. And for those of you that are retired or that are not working or looking for work, I feel like, you know, you can always find things to keep you busy. I feel like with the Magician in the 11th house and the Eight of Pentacles in your 3rd house, you can always find little odds and ends to kind of keep you busy. But I feel like where you need to feel more appreciation is from, you know, family, friends, children, etc. And I think you're getting that, okay? And maybe you're deciding to put some of those things over your career at this time, okay? Because, I mean, life is short, you know what I'm saying? And feeling like very connected is important, okay? And I feel like you and someone that you really care about with the Two of Cups in the 4th house, like you're on the same page about things. And I kind of feel like somebody that you love or you care for, whether it be family member, friend, lover, child, is actually like taking initiative to show you that they care, okay? So that's a very beautiful thing. And you're like, it's about goddamn time, Natalie. And we can see how that is, you know? And sometimes, like, you know, with this Ace of Pentacles and King of Wands, we're working so hard, you know, to go after what it is that we want. We're working so hard to create safety and stability for other people and for ourselves in our life. But with the Devil, we may feel like people don't really appreciate that or see that, you know? And sometimes, like, if people, if they see you every day or if they interact with you every day, then they get more of a sense of what you're actually doing. And, you know, that it's not just like a walk in the park. But Cancer, you make everything look easy because you're so you, is what I would say, okay? And I like that because I feel like you can get through anything when you have that emotional support that you really need, okay? And I do feel like you could have some healing dialogue with the people in your life right now that are important to you. So that's very nice. And we also have here, we have the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like basically other people are not giving you a lot of trouble. So it's a good time for you to focus on like the things that you really want and not deny yourself the things that you really want, okay? The only thing that may be giving you some trouble is, you know, with the 8th house here with the 9 of Swords, maybe some, you know, money issues or some worry about money issues. And for those of you that are like looking for work or you're out of the job but you want to find work with the 4 of Swords here, it's not, you know, I feel like what you do to prep for that with the Magician in your 11th house is going to be important, but maybe I'm not seeing like the most movement there, okay? So I think it's important with the 8 of Pentacles in the 3rd house that you keep developing your skills, okay? Like you keep, for those of you that have a resume and you want to get it out there, or if you know, or you have something that you're learning, and you just have to kind of do it by repetition and keep doing it and keep working on something, okay? But I think you're gonna see really nice results for it. I'm also seeing a spider here too, which tells me, you know, because the 8 of Pentacles is great, but it may not be the most creative, okay? Some of you may actually see a spider like in your house or where you're working at. or around your computer area or wherever it is that you work or study or do your projects, okay? And it's like, whoa, that's a big one or something. But anyway, anyway, Cancer. But when I see spider energy, is a little bit different than the Eight of Pentacles. I mean, the spiders weave this very intricate, complex web that is like, you know, amazing, that only they can do. And, but someone can just take their hand and like, you know, wipe it away and get rid of all that effort in a moment. So sometimes with the Eight of Pentacles in the third house, we have to keep going back to something and kind of like rebuilding it or redoing it if, you know, something gets lost, like if data gets lost or something like that. So I think it's important. We are heading up to a Mercury retrograde. I do think it's important that you guys like save your work, that you know, that you're not like working really, really hard on something and then just like poof, you know, that wouldn't be good. Like you forget to save your Excel sheet and you're like, oh my God, I gotta go and do it over, okay? So hopefully that isn't happening for you guys. But I also think with the Eight of Pentacles here, you guys have the ability to really sharpen something that you're working on and something that you're doing. And I think consistent communication and sharing details is going to be very beneficial for you, okay? And just keep working at it, I feel like, when it comes to a skill that you're trying to learn. Maybe you're trying to learn some new skills for a job that you want to get, you know? So I would say just keep working at that. And, you know, some of you are going to be like perfecting the art of communication or wanting to work on your communication. And I think that that's a good thing. Or you're becoming more cognizant of how you say things and how you do things and what you're telling people, okay? And some of you might get a little bit thrown off if other people aren't acting the same way. Do you know what I'm saying? So I would just give yourself a little bit of leeway for that. Now, I want to go ahead and give yourself a little bit of leeway for yourself to make mistakes and for other people to make mistakes. But I think what you're trying to do is like very honorable as far as, you know, like be more of a, like pay attention more to how like you write emails. You know what I'm saying? Or paying more attention to, and some of you may be noticing like a lot of grammatical mistakes in what other people are saying and doing. Or maybe if you're some type of editor or you have to edit things or check things, the Eight of Pentacles in the third house is very strong for you, okay? We have anxiety here, and I wanted to draw a card that represented this Nine of Swords, and it just straight up, the Nine of Swords does have to do with anxiety. And sometimes with the eighth house, you may have, some of you actually may struggle with anxiety, like, you know, generalized anxiety disorder. If you are struggling with anxiety or depression, or you have in the past, I would just say, you know, that with the Nine of Pentacles in the sixth house, like maybe you need to, if you need to go back and refill a prescription or pay some money for something or get some good help with something, I think that is going to be good for you, because I feel like there's things that you want to do, but some of you may struggle with anxiety, and anxiety is a very real thing, you know, and sometimes it's like we don't even know where it's coming from. There's just a lot of changes, you know, with the Wheel of Fortune, and, you know, a relationship could be causing you guys some anxiety too, because you're like, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know what decision I want to make. And it's just creating a sense of anxiety, okay? So I would say, and because the eighth house also has to do with debt, there may just be some anxieties about, you know, debt or money. Because sometimes with our finances, if we're just kind of like ignoring it and letting it happen, and then we go check our bank balance and we're like, oh shit, you know, like where did I get off, where did I get off base there, right? Like while I was sleeping or while I was ignoring XYZ, like a bunch of shit happened, okay? So I would just, keep your eyes wide open on that, but try not to stress yourself out, okay? So some of you may be experiencing some anxiety, all right? But I also think you can easily take your mind off things by focusing. The Eight of Pentacles and the Magician are both really good cards of focus and concentration on the things that you can change and the things that you can control and the things that you can do, okay? And I want to get one card here for this Two of Swords in your money house. Spirit, can you give me a little bit more info about this Two of Swords in your money house? We have trust. Okay, so it's like I can't really, we don't want to do blind trust, you know what I mean? Where we're just like, everything will be fine. And then one day we wake up and it's like, oh shit, I didn't pay that bill, right? Anxiety here could be like, did I forget to pay a bill? Am I like, am I screwing up over here? Okay, so this might be a time where you're having to trust. Maybe you borrowed some money to a person or a friend and it's like, okay, am I going to get that back? All right. So there is a sense of needing trust, okay? When it comes to your financial situation, trusting that you're going to be okay, even if you don't see a lot of change and movement right now. All right, but let's go ahead and see. I want to get a card for that Four of Cups in your first house, okay? For Cancer, please. Four of Cups in the first, okay. Caution. All right, so you are going to be feeling very cautious, and other people around you are not going to be with this Wheel of Fortune in your seventh house, are not going to be feeling as cautious, okay? And I mean, we do want to get you out of your comfort zone a little bit and get you to having, I think you are cautious for good reason, because some of you with Judgment at the center, you may have had some things happen in your life that caused you to withdraw or caused you to be very cautious or nervous at times, okay? And, some of you could have had with Judgment at the center here, like you could have had a car accident, or you could have had something in your life that happened that made you a little bit afraid. And I know how that is, Cancers, like when you have, especially if you grew up in, around trauma, or you grew up around a lot of pain and upheaval, and there was some things that happened to you physically, I feel like, that can create a sense of anxiety. And it can also make us very cautious about, taking a chance on things. And so I think taking really good care of your health, your nutrition, your mental health, your emotional health, all of that, your physical health is really going to help you optimize your energies. And know with the Two of Cups in the fourth house that if you need support, if you need affection, if you need support, if you need care, that there are people around you that, and also too, that you love and care for yourself, and that you are a loving person in general, and that the basis of your life is love, okay? And so let's go ahead and see. But I know how it is, like when you go through a really hard experience, it's hard to trust, it's hard to open up, okay? I get that. But let's go ahead. I want to get one card here for the Cancers as it has to do with love, okay? For the Cancers. Wow, all right. Look at this. Look at this steamy Knight of Cups in your fifth house. Very emotional. Okay, again, we talked about guilt, right? With the Ace of Cups in the 12th house. Don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. Now, Gemini got this as well as their message, okay? So talking about being worried about future choices and decisions, and, maybe at times in your life when guilt was used against you, Cancer. So at times you feel you have to be careful and be cautious of everybody else and everybody else's feelings, because you are that loving person, okay? But also too, don't base any of your decisions on guilt, because it's really important that you be true to yourself right now, okay? And I'm gonna get an animal spirit here for you to close the reading, and then we're gonna go ahead and take it to your 18 plus extended love reading, okay? So let's go ahead and see. Can I get one card here for the Cancer for an animal totem coming up in the future that they need to be aware of? Let's see here for my Cancers. All right. Bring your ideas to life. Electric Eel is on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like that's something you were doing in the past with the King of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. But what about now? We see Flamingo Spirit. Embrace the in-between. Yep, I feel that's very good advice for you right now. And actually, I did a flamingo reading. You can check my playlist and under my spiritual readings on this channel. And I did a whole reading on Flamingo Spirit and messages from the Flamingo Spirit animal totem. So please listen to that reading. I think it will be very beneficial for you, Cancer. And I talked about that in-between energy with your career. There's also with your money, needing to kind of trust. Also this sense of needing to be a little bit careful. But also, you know, when we're embracing the in-between, that can bring up a lot of anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know where things are going with the Wheel of Fortune. All right. So, but I think, you know, finding care and affection and love in your home or in the people around you is going to help ease some of that. Okay. So thank you so much, Cancer. And we're going to go ahead and take it to your 18 plus extended reading. And you can join me on my Vimeo channel. Thank you so much. Take care.